Good day, everyone. It's Nick Cavadas, and I wanted to do a end-to-end church reopening process. We forgot to do that this morning, mainly because my battery was dying, so I had to go home and charge it. So I'm starting here behind the chapel by the parking lot. This is the parking lot behind the church, which we recommend that people park, mainly because you can access the front of the church from both sides and be covered in case it's raining. And I'll point that out as we go for a walk here. So I'm going to move the camera. As you can see, that's the church. The sun is setting, so it's kind of bright. But that's the entrance to the chapel. So as we walk towards the church, you're going to start seeing these blue lines. Obviously, these blue lines go all the way around the church. The odds are we won't have people waiting this far back. Each blue line means that's a place where you can wait if there's somebody in front of you. So you just keep going to the blue line until you see some people, and then just stay one blue line behind them. So as you can see, there's a blue line pretty much every other sidewalk square, which is well more than 6 feet. It's probably about 8 to 10 feet. So definitely is within the social distance guidelines. So let's take you around the church from the south side. So this is the south side of the church. And as we walk here, you'll see we got the wind guards. And you'll continue to see the blue lines pretty much every other major sidewalk square. So obviously I don't see us ever needing to have people, but the good thing is you're covered. So if it's raining, you don't have to worry about if you forgot your umbrella. So now we're going to get to the door, which is where everybody's going to enter the church. It's going to be these front side doors by the bell tower. So X marks the spot on where if you see somebody inside at the check-in desk, that's the X you're going to wait. And there will be a council member at this door. These doors will be open unless the weather is not good, then they'll be closed, and just wait for a parish council member to open the doors and let you in. So that's the only X that you'll see outside. That's basically letting you know this is where we're going to enter. As you can see, we also have some signs up, and they're written in both Greek and English. And basically it says, please do not enter the church without a face mask, in both English and Greek. And so when you exit your vehicle and you make this walk that we just did, just make sure you've put your mask on. These blue lines, by the way, they go all the way to the end of the hall. And they're all a minimum of 6 feet apart. And just to show you these blue lines here, and they go all the way. Now we're going towards the north side. Now this is the real front of the church, and as you can see, there's arrows that says please use the other door, pointing towards the side doors of the by the bell tower, the south side doors. So we'll go around the church one more time. This is now the north side of the church. As you can see, we got blue lines, all socially distant places where you can stand. So not only are they every other square, but you'll notice it's pretty much every column. So you can lean them up against them. So we're now on the north side of the church. People really don't come on this side of the church that much because the doors, we never open these doors. So now when we exit, everybody who sits on the north side of the church, all the pews on the north side of the church will be exiting this door. And that's why, you know, if you park in the parking lot that you see back here on the west side, it'll be a shorter walk to your vehicles. And if you park by the hall, it's a longer walk, especially when we're directing people to exit the north side of the church. So, and that's it. This door leads to where the priest's vestments are. I call it the vestment changing room. But anyways, so these lines go all the way basically where we started. And that's the back parking lot that we recommend people to park. So let's go back to the front and go through the whole process. So you come to church, you exit your vehicle, you got your mask on, and you're walking to the front like you normally do. I'm trying to keep the camera as steady as possible so nobody gets... If you hear helicopters, that's because there's protests not too far from here by the mall, which is about, I don't know, a couple miles. So they got a helicopter flying around here. Okay, so I'm coming to church. The parish council guy will pretty much tell me to stop here at this X. I gotta unlock the door real quick. Okay, so now we're in the exo-narthex of the church. We have entered the church. The desk that you see in front of you is the check-in desk. There will be a council member there that will ask you a few questions and take your temperature. There is one more X right there. That's a safe place to stand. So, assuming nobody's in front of you, you're going to come up to the check-in desk here, and you're going to be asked 4 questions, which the other videos tell you what those questions are. They'll take your temperature with the temperature gun, so it's non-contact. And then you're going to also state your name and the number of people that you reserved for when you called the office during the week, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. If your name and the party number matches, and you answered the questions where basically all the answers are a yes, and your temperature is not higher than 100.4, you will be told you can enter the narthex. If you do not meet any of those criteria, your name, you're not on the reservation list, you answered no to one of the questions, or your temperature is higher, you will be asked to return back home. So let's say we get a good pass. The next thing you want to do is you want to sterilize or hand sanitize your hands. We'll have a hand sanitizer there. And then at this point, a parish council person will pretty much tell you which candle stand you can go to the north side or the south side. So in this case, let's go to the north side. If there's somebody purchasing candles and you've already checked in and there's nobody else in front of you, you can go to this X. But let's go here. So you're going to come to the candle stand. As you notice, there are no candles in the candle stand. And there's paper, but paper that the parish council uses, but there's no bulletins. So when you get to this point, you're going to tell the parish council what kind of candles you want. So, for example, if you want a red votive candle, I'm getting tangled up here, hold on 1 second, tangled up. If you want a red votive candle, you tell them, I want one red votive. And let's say you want, of course, talking to this audio system, a narthex to put in the sandbox, and let's say you want a white votive to put in the corner. So these are $2, the circular white ones. These white ones are $2, and the red votives are 10. You will be the parish council member will be wearing gloves, and they will hand you the white narthex one that you put in the sandbox. If you requested the other candles, they will not give them to you. A parish council member will be responsible to light the red candle and take it to the front. You just got to tell them which icon. And if you want a white votive one like this, you tell them how many you want, and the parish council member will take it back in the corner behind the choir and light it. And that's basically the whole candle process. So the only candle you'll be given are the white ones that go into the sandbox over here. So let's put these back. Now that we're in church, I'll take my hat off. We're going to have credit card readers. So we encourage you to pay by credit card for the candles. But if you don't have a credit card, or, well, you probably do, but if you don't want to use it, we ask that if you can, do the best you can to bring exact change. So, you know, if you're going to church and you know that you're going to be requesting $43 worth of candles, bring 43 bucks. We're trying to avoid the amount of exchange with money, you know, and especially money is always, it's got more germs than anything else. So that's pretty much it. After you receive your candles, we're going to ask you to re-sanitize your hands with the hand sanitizer right there, right here. So that way, you know, any interaction that you've done with the parish council member, your hands are good to go. The next thing you do is you do what you normally do. You're going to come and light your candle. We ask that you place your candle. I'll give you an example. Let's say the big white candle in the center there is the candle. We ask that you put your next candle, you know, 1 fist length away, so that way you don't touch the other candles. Obviously, there'll be more candles as the day goes on, but just ask you to space them apart, basically. After you light your candles, then you obviously, you're going to go to the icon. You are not to kiss the icon or touch the icon. There is a sign there that says that. You can just do your cross. You can read the prayer that's above the icon, and you can venerate. And then, of course, after you're done with that icon, I think I was supposed to take the Bible inside. We'll do that later. So you come to the center, what we call the beast, or where all the center icons in the Bible are at. You come over here, you do your cross, say a prayer, venerate the icons, but do not kiss or touch them. In this case, we do have it roped off, so you can't get close. And that's it. So then, once you've done all that, assuming you haven't touched anything, you can re-sanitize your hands if you want. If not, you come to this X that you see right there, and there's an X on both sides. This is where the parish council member is going to ask you if you're going to take communion or not. If you don't take communion, they're going to seat you in the far corners. If you are going to take communion, they're going to seat you somewhere else. So let's say that I'm going to take communion. Since I entered the north side doors, they're going to escort me somewhere to the north side over here. So let's say I'm an early bird and I'm the first one here or something. As you can see, the pews are ribboned off. All the pews that are ribboned off, you will not be able to sit. So it's basically every other row. And you'll notice that no two rows that are adjacent to each other have a ribbon. So, you know, these people sitting on the aisle will not be sitting next to each other. So they're going to sit me over here on the second row on this section. You're going to notice there's a green dot there. Actually, all the pews have a dot where the ones you can sit. A dot means you can sit there. So, and if it's a family that live in the same household, you can sit together. If you're not in the same household, you cannot sit next to each other. So all these dots are at a minimum of 6 feet apart. Most of them are more than that, 8 to 10 feet. So these first few pews, there's only going to be 2 people to a pew. And that's pretty much it. There's different colored dots. They don't mean anything. It's just that's the color of dots I had at the time. So, and that's that. So you take a seat, and you will be sitting there until, you know, we dismiss you for communion, and then exit the church, which will be done at the same time. So before we do the communion process, I wanted to basically say, let's say you have to go to the restroom. If you have to go to the restroom, the only restroom that we'll be allowing people to use is the cry room restroom. So the cry room restroom is over here. So let's turn the lights on. The good thing about the cry room is that if you have to go to the bathroom and you have to wait, we have a television that shows the altar. As you can see, the last row is ribboned off, so nobody can sit in that row. So if you have to go to the bathroom and there's somebody in there, you can sit on the front pew, and there's room for 2 people. There's a red dot on the wall. That's where you can sit. And then the person from the bathroom will exit where I'm standing, and that way everybody is socially distant. You will have to wait for the parish council member to sanitize the bathroom before you can go in. They'll just basically sanitize the toilet, the sink and the doorknobs and things like that. So let's say we're going to ask our young parishioners to volunteer to sit in the balcony, because as you'll find out here, there's a lot of steps. So let's go to the balcony. The balcony will be the last section of the church that will be dismissed for Holy Communion. So those who sit up here, and this is the hallway leading into the balcony. So here we are in the balcony. There are 3 rows. The first and third row is where people will be able to sit. Since the first row doesn't have a pew in front of you where you can see a dot, you'll notice on the wall I put a dot. So wherever you see a dot, you can sit right behind that. I believe the balcony can fit 22 people. It's a pretty big balcony, and it's beautiful actually to go to church and sit in the balcony. I'm usually always in the balcony doing the live stream, but I'm in the front these days. So once again, people that sit in the balcony will be dismissed last. So you're going to have some patience, because church in itself is probably going to be a little bit longer. Communion is going to take longer, mainly because we have to dismiss at a slower rate. The bride's room bathroom will not be used. It'll be off limits. We're trying to limit the amount of things people can touch, basically. So let's say we've been seated on the south side of the church, which is where we're going, and we're going to be dismissed. So the decision has been made that the Holy Communion will be delivered at the end of the service, so that's after the memorials. And then once you receive Holy Communion, you will exit the church. So we're on the south side, the best side, right, for you Sox Cub fans. So the parish council is going to dismiss you 1 row at a time. And not only 1 row at a time, but even if you're in the same household, you still have to stay socially distant when you go up for communion. So we only have a few X's on the floor, so we'll follow that. So we're going to do, let's say I'm the first pew, nobody's in front of me. You'll see the X's that we have put. That's where people can stand. If I can get this one. Here we go. So I'm going to go for Holy Communion. Once I get up to the soleil, you'll notice there's hand sanitizer. You will be asked to hand sanitize your hands. Once you're finished hand sanitizing, that's the point where you can take your mask off, and you'll probably be at this X, assuming somebody is taking communion in front of you. As you can see, Father Ted normally stands to the right, and Father Dimitri will stand to the left. So Father Ted will probably be by Christ, Father Dimitri probably by Panayia. That's normally how it is. It's been a while, but anyways, I guess it don't matter. There's basically going to be 2 priests, at least 10 feet apart. So I'm sitting on the south side. I'm going to come and get Holy Communion from Father Dimitri. He's going to be standing in front of Panayia over here. You're going to take communion, and then here's the key. You're going to exit this way and out the south side doors that we're heading towards to. When we get to the south side doors, there will be a donation basket, because we will not be passing the tray. This is the point where you can drop your stewardship envelope or any donation you would like to make to the church. There's one last X over here, only because if you see people outside by the door, you can wait there until they move along. So there you go. I'm the only one in the church. It's Sunday evening. I wanted to give everybody an idea of how all this works from end to end. So this video is almost 20 minutes long. It's way too long. So have a good evening. Thanks for listening, and hopefully have patience. The parish council in itself is, they're all trying to get this process down to a science and make it as painless and as fast as possible. And that's it. Have a good evening.